Oh, hello there. Excuse my ill manners, I was just enjoying this beautiful autumn air. Welcome to my review of The Walk. I'm John Maffio. I'm gonna say that in a few minutes in my review of The Walk, but I want to say it first here because I'm the narrator. Let us please go back to a time in the early production stages of this review where I was adjusting and moving my eyebrows and awkwardly smiling for the camera to test the film camera. And now let us begin. Hello everybody, welcome to MaffmanJones Movie Reviews. I'm your host, John Maffio, and today's featured movie is The Walk, directed by Robert Zemeckis, the man who made Back to the Future, Flight, Forrest Gump, Castaway. He has a great resume. It also stars Joseph Gordon-Levitt, and it's about this French guy who had a big dream, the biggest dream of all time, to climb across the Twin Towers, World Trade Center, in the very early 70s when the buildings were being built. And he had to do it right before the buildings were completed because otherwise his dream would disappear forever. It's a really early 1970s French dream, so you know it's going to be groovy. Bonjour. I just realized that groovy and bonjour don't make sense together because they mean two totally different things. I went to see this movie in IMAX 3D, and I was excited for a couple reasons. One, Robert Zemeckis, because he's directed some of the best movies of all time, which I forgot to include Framing Roger Rabbit. Two, Joseph Gordon-Levitt's been good in every movie he's been in for the most part. He has a good building, and he's also very charismatic. And it's about the Twin Towers, and I'm from New York. But I think it's a beautiful thing that this movie is about the Twin Towers, but it's also not about the Twin Towers. It's a story of a man who had a dream, but the Twin Towers have a focal point in the story. Getting right into it, I have to say The Walk, it's really nothing memorable. It's not anything special. It's a very conventional story, and it goes from beginning to end. The only thing that's different is the narration, but I'll get to that in a little bit. The movie has good performances, a good story. It's about the man who wants to follow his dream. He's a wire artist, and he likes to walk on wires, and he worked in a circus for a little time being. His master is played by Ben Kingsley, and Ben Kingsley always puts in a great performance. He's supposed to be French, and he's definitely not French in reality, but I bought him that he was French in the movie. And the whole movie is about him going from France to New York and illegally doing the stunt work. This happened in real life in 1974, and he had to get this done, this wiring from the North Tower to the South Tower, or the South to the North, I forgot, illegally, because it would not be allowed. I also have knowledge that there's a documentary on this, and I kind of want to watch it now, because it seems really interesting that he went through all this trouble just to walk across the Twin Towers on a really thin wire. But it's actually a lot more complicated than that. From a filmmaking perspective, and from a viewing perspective from the audience, I don't think anything is that, unique about it, besides the ending act of the movie, which is basically Joseph Gordon-Levitt walking across the Twin Towers on the wire. I think this is a movie that should be seen in IMAX 3D just for that sequence alone, because it's beautiful, it's jaw-dropping, it may give you vertigo. It didn't give me vertigo, but there were moments where I was shaking a little bit, because the camera would sweep from side to side and up and down, showing the gravitas of the situation and the height of the situation, and he was over 100 stories high. If he fell from that fucking wire, he would be dead. But that sequence is the most thrilling aspect of the film. Everything else is a nice, sweet, sincere, beautiful story of a man who just wants to go and fulfill his dream. The review was going so well until he mentioned the narration. Nothing that I've talked about so far in this review I would label as bad. However, there is a Forrest Gump-esque type of thing going on in this movie with Joseph Gordon-Levitt's character, who narrates the entire movie from beginning to end. The very beginning of the film, we see a nice landscape of New York City with the Twin Towers in the background, and it pulls back, and we see Joseph Gordon-Levitt's character with his really over-the-top French accent, which you do get used to in the movie, but it's still really strong of an accent. He's on the top of Lady Liberty, and he starts talking about his life, about himself. And the whole movie, it cuts back to him from time to time as he's describing what's happening on screen. Time and time again, he will mention things that are about to happen in the movie before it happens. It was really cheesy, it was kind of annoying, and semi-frustrating, and I think the film could have benefited from taking that aspect of the movie out and just letting the film be a linear experience of narrative filmmaking. Because it took away and it distracted from me as a viewer.
Really?
What?
Cheesy? Annoying? Frustrating?
Isn't it a beautiful way to tell a story of a man following his dreams? No.
No.
Fine. Go to the part where you actually give the movie a 3 out of 5 stars. Hey, will you shut up? God. Okay. Well, what he just said, I guess. The Walk is a 3 out of 5. It's a full-course Applebee's meal. It's a good movie. It's worth your time, and I think it's worth the purchase to see it in IMAX or IMAX 3D just for that ending sequence on the Twin Towers alone. But the rest of the movie is a conventional, by the books, by the numbers type of story that is nice. It's refreshing to see a movie about a guy who just follows his dreams and fulfills his dreams, and there's nothing depressing or dreary or dark about it. It's just very uplifting and light and cute. It's a cute movie. If you enjoyed this video, please like it and subscribe to my channel so you never miss a video from me ever again. Also, check out my Facebook and Twitters. I hope the narration guy doesn't come back.
Hello?
Ah! God! I'm John Maffio, aka MaffmanJones, and I'll see you guys next time.